InnerQuest explores various pathways through which you can connect with the infinite wisdom of the universe and apply it to personal, professional, and spiritual growth. This program, featuring accomplished practitioners, educators, and authors, is provided by Infinity Foundation, an innovative center for holistic studies and research. We invite you to share this journey with us.
Hello, welcome to InnerQuest. My name is Jay Stone, your host for today, and our guest is John Robertson. Welcome, John.
Thank you, Jay.
John is a Chicago suburban Tai Chi Qigong instructor. John also teaches classes on cobblestone walking, the pendulum, gratitude, stress relief, and more. John teaches part-time at National University of Health Sciences. John, why don't you tell the audience what you're holding in your hand or what's on this table here?
Well, these are Chinese health balls, and it's something that many people have in their home that people often buy as presents and gifts, usually because they look pretty. Mm-hmm. They are actually an ancient form of exercise and healthcare. Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you hold it in your hand. Does it help with other parts of the body?
It does, yes. The movement in the hand stimulates acupressure points and reflexology zones in the hand, mm-hmm. and that stimulates your internal organs.
Okay, so like organs for like the kidney, the bladder, the lungs, the heart,
exactly,
they're all there?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know how old these Chinese health balls are?
Well, some of the factories have records dating back somewhere around 2,000 years that show that the Chinese actually used walnuts to exercise with, to stimulate the acupressure points to keep the hands exercised. And they actually started to make them as a piece of exercise equipment around 1,000 years ago.
Well, I'm kind of smiling because back in the 70s, there was these biofeedback devices invented in which our body would provide information to some type of machine, yeah, that we would know the stress level of our body. And one of them is, a galvanic skin thermometer, or measures like the electrical flow in the hand. There's a
yes.
small amount of current. And so you can wear a thermometer, you know, to raise the temperature of the hands in order to improve the health of the rest of the body.
Yes.
So good. Are you aware of any scientific studies done on these Chinese health balls?
Not in the West. The Chinese have studied these extensively from the 1500s onwards, and unfortunately none of those studies are available in English.
Okay. And how was it that you got started with the Chinese health balls?
Well, like a lot of people, I was actually given a set as a gift. Mm-hmm. And being a Tai Chi and Qigong instructor, I was intrigued, and I opened them, read the instructions, spun them around in my hands a few times and thought, oh, that's great, put them back in the box and put them on the shelf. Mm-hmm. And they sat there for a couple of years. Mm-hmm. Until I was doing some research on the internet and I came across an article about them. And it's like, you know, oh, I have a set of those somewhere. So I read the article and it just blew me away, the health benefits that can be gained from using them.
Can you describe some of the health benefits?
From a physical standpoint, if a Westerner was looking at these, they're going to increase your flexibility, your dexterity in your fingers, your hands, your wrists, your forearms. Mm-hmm. That's the big thing from the West. That's going to help reduce your risk of arthritis, rheumatism, carpal tunnel syndrome, any hand-related issues. Mm-hmm. From the Oriental standpoint, they're very much about stimulating the acupressure points to stimulate and heal your internal organs. Mm-hmm. And they're also very good for boosting your qi, your vital energy. The big thing, though, that a lot of people use them for is stress relief and relaxation. Mm-hmm. They're a great form of stress relief. And the big thing about them is that they actually work the mind a great deal. So it's very much about keeping the mind active and the mind stimulated.
I would almost think it's just the opposite, that it would empty the mind, like the Chinese state or Oriental state of no mind or ego death. And one of the symptoms of stress is an overactive mind. Like my clients will say, Jay, can you help me turn off the voice inside my head? So this way people are focusing and concentrate on spinning the ball instead of, you know, all the other worries or troubles in their life.
That's exactly right. Initially, the mental effort is going to be into figuring out how to do the exercises. Mm-hmm. Once you know how to do the exercises, then it will transfer to that no mind state where you don't have to think about it.
Right.
And the mind can then empty.
And so you teach a workshop, Infinity. You want to talk a little bit about what your workshop covers?
It's a 3-hour workshop.
Three hours to just to spin the balls.
3 hours just to learn how to spin these, yes.
Okay.
The first hour really covers going through the benefits, the history, and I actually have a video of one of the factories you can see how the chiming versions are made.
Do you have a chiming version here?
Yes, the ones in the front row there, closest to the camera, are chiming.
Cool. We're going to have to get those.
Yes.
And so that's the first hour.
Yes, and then we move on to going through the basic exercises, and there are actually 10 basic exercises. We work through, learn what those are, and then we have some time to practice.
Do you think you can demonstrate a few of those 10 basic exercises?
I can, yes. The basic one that most people know is clockwise and counterclockwise with them touching.
Okay.
And another exercise is from the outside to the inside.
Okay.
And then you can do the clockwise and the counterclockwise
look,
without them touching.
That is pretty amazing.
And then you can go from the left to the right and the right to the left. Those are some of the basic exercises.
That's very impressive.
And we take some time for the students to get to work with them and to actually experience and try to get to know how to do some of these exercises.
And so do you encourage your students to bring their own Chinese balls, or do you think it's better for them to try the various kinds you have at your workshop so they can see what works best for them?
Well, I definitely encourage, if anybody has a set, that they should bring them to the class. Mm-hmm. And I bring a great deal to the class, and so it gives people the opportunity to try different sizes, different types, whether they're hollow chiming ones, whether they're steel, whether they're stone, because they all actually feel very different. Okay. And people like different versions, so it gives them a real opportunity to feel and experience different types.
Okay. Now, do you mind trying or showing our audience what the ones that make the sounds look like and sound like?
Of course.
Now,
so they have a gentle chime inside them. And so the gentle chime is actually a part of the health benefits. Mm-hmm. The pleasant ringing sound stimulates the inner ear, and the inner ear is connected to every organ in the body. Mm-hmm. So the pleasant chimes stimulate all the internal organs in a positive way.
Okay. Now, I notice the balls that you're holding, they come in different sizes. You know, very similar ones, but in varying sizes. Would that be for like younger children, or is it better to start with a small size and work your way up?
Well, exactly as you mentioned, younger children. They start at around 1 inch in diameter, which is suitable for about 4 to 5-year-old children. Mm-hmm. And they work up to about 3 inches in diameter, which is really for